My neighbor warned me not to open the door for my daughter tonight. I wish I had listened. I still remember that night, and every time I close my eyes, I hear the knock on the door again. My neighbor had warned me. She looked me straight in the eye and said, "Margaret, do not open the door for your daughter tonight. No matter what you hear." But when the knocking started, it was my daughter's voice outside. "Mum, it's me. Please open the door. Please, Mum." It was late. Past midnight. The wind was loud. The street was quiet. My hands were shaking as I held the key. I turned the lock, even while my heart screamed at me to stop. The door opened a little, and I saw my daughter's hair, wet from the rain, hanging over her face. Her shoulders were bent, and she did not look up. "Emma," I whispered, "are you all right?" Slowly, very slowly, she lifted her head to look at me. And what I saw made my heart stop. Earlier that morning, everything felt normal. The sun was bright, the birds were noisy, and my small kitchen smelled like tea and toast. I was standing by the window, watching the children on the street run to school, while I stirred my tea. My name is Margaret, but everyone calls me Grandma Maggie. I live alone in a small house at the end of the street. My daughter, Emma, is a nurse. She works night shifts at the hospital in the city and sometimes leaves my granddaughter, Lily, with me. That morning, Lily was sitting at the table, drawing small flowers on a white paper. "Grandma, look," she said, showing me a purple flower with a big yellow center. "That is beautiful, my dear," I said, kissing her head. "Your mum will love it." We were happy. There was nothing strange, no dark feeling in the air. If someone had told me what would happen that night, I would have laughed. Around noon, my neighbor, Mrs. Green, came to visit. She is a serious woman with sharp eyes, but she has a kind heart. She knocked on my door softly, and I wiped my hands and went to open it. "Good afternoon, Margaret," she said. "Good afternoon, Nora." "Come in," I answered, moving aside. She stepped in, but she did not smile. "Is Lily here?" she asked. "Yes, she is in the sitting room," I said, a bit confused. Mrs. Green looked over my shoulder at Lily, then lowered her voice. "I need to tell you something," she said. "It might sound strange, but please listen." I felt a small cold feeling in my chest. "What is it?" I asked. She took a deep breath. "Last night, I could not sleep," she said. "I was at my window, and I saw a car I have never seen before. It stopped near your house, late in the night. 2 people were inside. They sat there for a long time, just looking around." I frowned. "Are you sure it was near my house?" "Yes," she said, "very close. And this morning, I saw the same car 2 streets away. The same dark windows. The same slow driving." I felt uneasy. "Maybe they were just lost," I said, trying to sound calm. Mrs. Green shook her head. "Maybe. But I do not trust them. Listen, Margaret. If anything strange happens tonight, especially if someone comes to your door, do not open it. Even if you think it is someone you know. Call the police first. Please." Her words were heavy. I did not like them. I did not like fear in my house. "You are worrying too much," I said gently. "I will be fine. Emma is working tonight, but she will come in the morning. And I will lock the doors like always." She stared at me for a long moment. "I hope you are right," she said quietly. "But I am serious. Do not open the door for anyone tonight. Not even for your daughter." Those words made me angry inside. Not open the door for my own child. That sounded wrong. After she left, I tried to forget what she said. The day went on. Lily watched cartoons, we cooked rice for lunch, we laughed at silly jokes. I helped her take a nap in the afternoon and folded the laundry while she slept. But sometimes, I would walk past the window and look outside, just to check. No strange car, no strange people, only normal life. By evening, Emma called. "Mum, I am going in for the night shift," she said. "I will come by in the morning to pick Lily." Her voice sounded a little tired, but normal. "All right, my dear," I said. "Be safe. Lily made a drawing for you." "Ah, give her a kiss for me," Emma replied. After the call, the house began to feel different. The sky turned dark. The wind grew stronger. The trees outside my window started to move like they were worried about something. I locked the back door. I checked the windows. I made sure Lily's room window was closed and her curtains were drawn. "Grandma, I am scared of the wind," Lily said, holding her teddy bear. "It is only the trees talking to each other," I said, forcing a smile. "Nothing to fear." But inside, I felt a small knot of fear. Mrs. Green's words kept coming back. "Do not open the door for anyone tonight. Not even for your daughter." Later that night, after I put Lily to bed and the house was quiet, the power suddenly went off. The lights went dark. The fridge stopped humming. The whole house fell into silence. I stood in the middle of the sitting room, holding my breath. Then I heard it. 3 slow knocks on the front door. I froze. My heart jumped. Outside, the wind howled. From behind the wall, I heard Mrs. Green's voice calling from her house, loud and afraid. "Margaret, do not open that door." When I heard Mrs. Green shout those words, my whole body went cold. But then the knock came again. 3 slow knocks. And this time, a voice followed. "Mum, it's me. Please open the door." It was Emma's voice. My daughter's voice. Soft, tired, and shaking. For a moment, I could not breathe. I felt like my mind was being pulled in 2 directions. Mrs. Green's warning on one side. My child calling me on the other. "Mum, please," the voice said again. "I forgot my keys. I'm freezing. Open the door." I took a step forward before I even realized. My feet were moving on their own. But then, from the corner of the hallway, I heard Lily's tiny voice. "Grandma," she whispered. I turned and saw her rubbing her eyes, scared. "Is Mum here?" I swallowed hard. "Go back to your room, darling. I'll check." But Lily shook her head and clung to my nightdress. She never came out of bed at night. This alone felt strange, like she sensed something wrong. Outside, the knocking stopped. But the voice came again, this time louder. "Mum, open the door." There was a sharpness in it now. Not fear. Something else. I grabbed Lily's hand and stepped closer to the door, but I did not open it. "Emma," I called softly through the wood. "Why are you here? You said you were working tonight." Silence. Then the voice returned, but it was too quick, too desperate. "Mum, please, just open the door. I'll explain. It's cold. I need to come in." I felt my heart beating hard. Something was wrong. Emma never spoke like that. Never rushed. Never panicked. I tried again. "What hospital are you coming from?" I asked. "What happened? Why didn't you call first?" This time, the voice hesitated. A long pause. Then, "Mum, just open the door. Please." Not one answer to my question. Not one detail. I stepped back. Fear crawled up my spine. "Mum." The voice snapped suddenly, loud enough that Lily screamed and hid behind me. "Open this door now." That did it. My hands shook so hard that my fingers tingled. Mrs. Green's warning echoed in my head like a bell. "Do not open the door for anyone tonight. Not even for your daughter." Before I could think of what to do. Next, my phone rang. The sudden sound made both Lily and I jump. I grabbed it quickly, hoping it was Emma. It was. Her name flashed on the screen. Emma, calling me. But the person outside the door was still knocking. My heart nearly stopped. I answered the call with trembling fingers. Hello. Emma, Mum." Her voice sounded normal, calm, tired. Exactly like she sounded earlier in the evening. "Mum, why are you awake?" she asked. "Is everything okay?" My knees almost gave way. I stared at the door. The knocking stopped. Whoever was outside had suddenly gone silent. "Emma," I whispered, barely able to get my words out. "Where are you?" "At the hospital, Mum," she said. "On my break." "Why?" I felt my bones turn cold. Are you anywhere near the house?" I asked. "No," she said quickly. "Not for hours." "Why? What's happening?" I opened my mouth to answer. But before I could speak, there was a sound outside. A slow, heavy scrape across the front door, like someone dragging their nails down the wood. Lily cried and covered her ears. I pressed my hand over her mouth gently, trying to stop her from making noise. On the phone, Emma heard my shaky breathing. "Mum, what's that sound? Mum, talk to me." Someone outside whispered, very low, almost like they were breathing the words into the crack of the door. "Let me in, Margaret." That was not Emma's voice. Not even close. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream, but my legs were frozen. Then I heard the sound that pushed everything into terror. The door handle turned, slowly, carefully, as if whoever was outside was testing how strong the lock was. I grabbed Lily's arm, and with all the strength I had, I pulled her back toward the hallway. Her little feet stumbled as she tried to keep up. I whispered, "Don't look back," but she already did. Her eyes widened, her mouth fell open, and she pointed with shaking fingers at the door. "Grandma," she whispered, "there's someone at the window too." My heart dropped. I turned, and there, through the small gap between the curtains, a dark shape was pressed against the glass. Watching us, still, silent, waiting. The outside handle twisted again. Harder this time, and then the sound came. A loud, sharp click. Something on the lock had just snapped. The moment I heard that sharp click, my heart almost stopped. It was the sound of force. The sound of someone trying to break their way into my home. For a second, everything went silent. No wind, no footsteps, no voice. Just the heavy beating of my own heart in my ears. I held Lily tight against my chest. She was shaking so hard that her teeth were knocking together. "It's okay, darling," I whispered, though my voice was breaking. "We're going to be okay." But I didn't believe it. Not at that moment. From the phone, Emma's voice came through again, louder than before. "Mum, what's going on? What was that sound? Tell me." I wanted to answer her, but fear had locked my throat. Instead, I held the phone close and whispered, "Someone is at the door. They are trying to come in." Emma gasped. "Mum, call the police. Now." But before I could even move, something else happened. A second sound. A tapping sound. Not coming from the front door this time, but from the kitchen window. Tap, tap, tap. Slow, deliberate, close. Lily hid her face in my dress and burst into silent tears. I felt the floor tilt under my feet, like the house itself was trying to warn me. Someone wasn't just at the door. Someone was circling the house. I moved backward into the hallway, pulling Lily with me. My legs could barely carry me. Then I remembered something. The back door. I had locked it earlier, but I wasn't sure if I turned the bolt all the way. I couldn't let them get inside. Not with Lily here, not while Emma was miles away. I whispered into the phone, "Emma, stay with me." "I'm not going anywhere, Mum," she said quickly. "Just stay calm. Take Lily and go into your bedroom. Lock the door. I'll call the police right now." But I wasn't sure if the bedroom was safe. It had windows too, and the kitchen window tapping had grown louder. Tap, tap, tap. Then suddenly, a loud thud hit the back door. Like someone had thrown their full weight against it. Lily screamed. I covered her mouth gently again, trying to keep her quiet. "Mum, what was that?" Emma shouted through the phone. "They're at the back door now," I whispered. "They're trying all the entrances." Before I could take another breath, the front door rattled again. A heavy kick this time. Strong, angry, trying to break the lock completely. I panicked. I grabbed Lily's arm and rushed toward my bedroom. But the hallway felt longer than usual, like the house was stretching in fear. Another kick at the front door shook the whole house. The frame groaned. Plaster fell from the corner of the ceiling. I reached my room, pushed Lily inside, and slammed the door behind us. I locked it fast and dragged my old wooden wardrobe in front of the door. My muscles burned, but I pushed with everything I had. "Grandma, I'm scared," Lily whispered, crying. "I know, sweetheart. I'm scared too," I whispered honestly. "But we're together. Stay behind me." I turned off the lights. Everything went dark. Only the faint glow from the streetlights slipped through the curtains. On the phone, I heard Emma breathing fast. "Mum, the police are on their way. Just stay hidden. Stay quiet." A moment passed. Then another. Then, footsteps. Slow ones. Inside the house. My blood turned to ice. They were in. They had gotten inside. "Mum," Emma whispered. "Did you hear that?" I couldn't answer. I was staring at the tiny shadow beneath my bedroom door. A shadow that moved. A shadow that stopped right outside our room. Lily squeezed my hand so tight her nails dug into my skin. I held her close. The shadow paused. Then, it bent lower. Like someone was crouching, listening for us. My heart hammered. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Then I heard it. A whisper coming from the other side of the door. Soft, calm, cold. "Margaret, open the door. I know you're in there." I felt my whole body go numb. Lily whimpered. Then the whisper changed. It deepened. It turned into something that didn't sound human anymore. "We saw the little girl. Bring her to us." I nearly dropped the phone. Emma heard it too. She shouted, panicked, "Mum, don't open that door." The shadow under the door grew darker. Bigger. Closer. Then something happened that made my blood run cold. A hand slid under the door. Long fingers. Dirty nails. Reaching for Lily's feet. The sight of that hand reaching under my bedroom door almost stopped my heart. Long fingers curled upward, sweeping the floor slowly, feeling around as if they already knew exactly where Lily was standing. I yanked her backward so fast she nearly fell. "Stay behind me," I whispered fiercely. The hand kept searching, sliding left, sliding right, then slowly dragging across the floor again like it was tasting the air. Lily buried her face in my skirt, her whole body shaking. My own hands trembled so badly I nearly dropped my phone. Emma was still on the line, breathing hard. Mum, what's happening now?" I called the police again. They said they're close. "Please talk to me." I stepped backward with Lily, deeper into the room. I could not raise my voice. I could barely breathe. When I finally spoke, it came out as a thin whisper. "Someone's hand is under the door." Emma gasped so loudly the phone cracked. "Mum, don't go near it. Don't make any sound." The hand paused. Then it turned slightly, as if it heard my whisper. The fingers stiffened. I froze. Lily froze. For a moment, everything was still. Then the fingers pressed flat against the floor, and something scraped under the door again. It wasn't a hand anymore. It was something trying to adjust its grip. Trying to pull the door. Trying to pry it open. I pushed my weight against the wardrobe even harder, though my arms were weak. The wood creaked. The door groaned. "Mum," Emma whispered. "Don't move. I think they're trying to see if you're near the door." I didn't know how much longer I could keep quiet. Lily started crying again, muffled sobs shaking her little body. The hand stiffened again. It hurt her. It slid forward. Closer. Closer. Almost touching the bottom edge of my wardrobe now. Enough. I couldn't let it grab her. I grabbed the thick metal walking cane I kept near the wardrobe and slammed it down on the hand with all the strength in my body. There was a loud crack. A horrible scream. The hand yanked back so fast it scraped the wood. My whole house shook as whoever was outside stumbled backward, crying out in pain. But the sound wasn't normal. It wasn't just a person in pain. It was deeper, twisted, like two voices screaming together. Lily covered her ears and screamed too. I held her close, my heart racing so fast I thought it might burst. "Mum, what was that sound?" Emma cried through the phone. "I hit it," I whispered. "I hit its hand." The footsteps outside the room turned frantic. Heavy, angry, fast. The doorknob shook violently. Someone slammed their weight against the door over and over, making the wardrobe jump. Dust fell from the top. Frame cracking. Wood splitting. I pushed myself harder against the wardrobe, but I was no match for the force on the other side. "Mum, the police are almost there," Emma shouted. "Just hold on. Don't let them in." I wanted to shout back, "I'm trying." But I didn't have the breath. The strikes on the door grew faster, louder, harder. The wardrobe legs began to slide on the wooden floor. Piece by piece, it was being pushed aside. "No, please, no," I begged under my breath. Then something else happened, something worse. All the noises stopped. No footsteps, no banging, no breathing, only silence. That silence was worse than the noise. I knew they were still there. I knew they were waiting, listening. I held Lily tight. Her tears soaked my sleeve. After nearly a full minute of quiet, something tapped the window behind us. Once, twice, slow. I turned my head toward the sound, dread filling every part of me. The window was covered with curtains, but I could see a faint shadow through the thin fabric. A shape, tall, still, watching. "No," I whispered. "They're at the window too." Emma screamed into the phone, "Mum, get away from the window." Before I could even move, the window shook. Once, twice, then 3 times. Hard, like someone trying to break the glass with their bare hands. I pulled Lily to the floor and shielded her with my body. The window rattled again, harder this time. The glass bent inward. A small crack formed in the corner. I couldn't think. I couldn't plan. I could only hold Lily and pray. Then I heard the most terrifying sound so far. The sound of something sliding upward. The window latch being lifted. Slowly, quietly. Someone was opening my window from the outside. Just as the window began to rise, a loud shout echoed from outside the house. A man's voice. Strong. Commanding. Police. Step away from the house. For the first time that night, hope flickered. But it came too late. The window shot upward. Something black and long slipped inside the room. An arm. A shoulder. A figure climbing in. Lily screamed. I screamed. The intruder looked straight at us. Eyes dark. Face twisted. Smiling. And then he stepped fully into the room. The man who climbed through my window didn't move like a normal person. His body bent in strange ways, like his bones were too loose or too many. His smile stretched too wide. And his eyes. Cold. Hungry. Not human. He stepped toward us slowly, like he was enjoying every second of our fear. Lily clung to me so tightly it hurt. I pulled her behind me and tried to stand even though my legs were shaking like they might give out. The intruder tilted his head. "Grandma," he whispered in a voice that did not belong to any living thing. "You should have opened the door." My breath caught in my throat. My voice came out weak, trembling. "Stay away from my granddaughter." His smile widened. He pointed at Lily with a long, thin finger. "She's the one we want." I stepped in front of her and raised the cane again, even though my arms felt like noodles. "You won't touch her," I said. He laughed softly. A low, broken laugh that made my skin crawl. "You can't stop me." He took another step. And another. I backed up until my back hit the wardrobe. There was nowhere else to go. Outside, I heard the police shouting again. Doors slamming. Footsteps rushing around the house. Flashlights cutting through the darkness. But inside my bedroom, it was just me, Lily, and the thing that wanted her. He reached out a hand. Fingers long and crooked, coming straight toward her face. I swung the cane with everything I had. It connected with his arm. But instead of stumbling, he only twisted, bones popping, turning his arm backward like it didn't hurt him at all. He lunged. I grabbed Lily and dropped to the floor. The cane flew out of my hand. His fingers grazed the back of my dress as I rolled with Lily under the bed. The intruder roared. A deep, guttural sound. He dropped to the floor and tried to reach under the bed, but I shoved a cardboard box into his hand and flattened myself over Lily. From outside the door, the police forced their way into the hall. I heard the front door being kicked open. Shouting. Running. The intruder hissed and crawled out from the floor like a spider. His limbs bent sharply as he darted toward the window. But before he could escape, the bedroom door burst open. 3 officers stormed in, flashlights and weapons raised. "Don't move." The intruder froze for a split second. Then he dove for the window. The police fired tasers, and the wires spun through the air. 2 darts hit him square in the back. Electricity surged. His whole body convulsed. He screamed, a horrible mix of voices, and collapsed halfway through the window. The officers pulled him back inside, cuffed him, and dragged him away as he growled and shook. His voice turned into a strange, broken whisper as they pinned him down. "I told you, don't open the door." Then he went silent. One officer helped me crawl out from under the bed with Lily. She was sobbing. I held her and cried too, unable to stop the shaking in my body. "You're safe now," the officer said gently. "You called just in time." But then another officer walked up to me. "Ma'am, we found something outside. You need to see this." He led me to the front yard. There, hidden in the bushes, was the car Mrs. Green had warned me about. Dark windows, engine running. Inside were masks, gloves, ropes, and a long black coat. But the worst part, in the front seat, was a woman's handbag, Emma's handbag. I stumbled backward. "That's my daughter's bag. Where did you find it?" The officer took a deep breath. "We found her earlier tonight. She's safe." But she was grabbed leaving the hospital parking lot. My heart sank. "What? Where is she?" "She fought back and escaped," he said. "She flagged down a patrol car. She's at the station now, waiting for you." I nearly collapsed from relief. The truth finally hit me. The voice outside my door, the one pretending to be Emma, was part of the same group that tried to abduct her. They wanted Lily next. Mrs. Green had been right. If I had opened that door, Lily and I would have vanished without a trace. That night taught me something I will never forget. Not every voice you trust belongs to someone you love. And sometimes, a warning that sounds strange is the warning that saves your life. As the police car drove me and Lily away, the sun was rising. Emma was waiting at the station, crying as she hugged us both. We were safe. Finally safe. But every night since then, I still hear the knock. And I still wish I had listened sooner.